a lot of question is asked to VCs, but their customer कौन है? So a lot of people have a difficult way of answering this. And I think the true way to think about this is another thing, right? In India, we have that culture. That person has given me money. So I am answerable to that person. No, that person is now a part of your journey.
स्वागत है आप सबका। इस वीडियो में हमने बिजनेस के ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटजीज और सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के इंस्पायरिंग एक्सपीरियंस पर बात की है। अगर आपको कंप्लीट पॉडकास्ट चेक आउट करना है तो चेक आउट द लिंक इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन।
So, I wanted to ask you one question. When you are talking about VC funding and आप लोग जैसे indirectly you are not just investing into startups, you are also helping them grow or you can say you are coaching them. तो एक thought आया मेरे माइंड में कि स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर को जैसे कोच करने के लिए उनके कोच होते हैं, मैं उनको देखता हूँ हमेशा पसीने में लगा मेहनत कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, एंड VC guys always like charming, going around in posh cars, living a cool life. I can always see them at the golf courses and
grass on the other side, huh?
नहीं मतलब नहीं बट दैट्स अ परसेप्शन राइट। आई मीन आप कभी भी देखो VC वाले दे विल ऑलवेज बी इन फर्स्ट क्लास एंड बिजनेस क्लास, द स्टार्टअप गाइस बेचारे पीछे इकोनॉमी में बैठे हैं। थॉट एक परसेप्शन है। वहीं स्पोर्ट्स में जो कोच होता है वो बेचारा मेहनत भी वो भी भाग रहा है, प्लेयर के साथ ही मेहनत कर रहा है। तो why is that a difference? Like, do VC guys always have to be into the cool area या फिर they are always rich?
It's a funny question. I think see, I think you gave a very good example, which is a coach and the team on the ground. I think the first thing all VCs understand, and if they don't, they will soon understand that at the end of the day, nobody shouts at and holds up the coach saying, "Bhai, तूने amazing coaching किया." It is the team at the end of the day. Dhoni hit the six to win the World Cup. So it is the founder who is the one that you have to serve. A lot of question is asked to VCs, but तेरा customer कौन है? So a lot of people have a difficult way of answering this. And I think the true way to think about this is the founder is your customer, your investors are your shareholders. Means you have to make the founder happy. You are serving the founder, and if you are serving the founder properly, your shareholders will make money. I think that this is the core philosophy and behavior that should be there. Now you have people on either side, and there are certain things that certain life situations will take place, because to be a senior at a VC, you would have spent some time in the industry, you would have accumulated a certain amount of personal standing. But the founder that you're working with is a young 20-year-old. He's just getting started on his personal journey. So by default, there will be that little bit of contrast will be shown. But
Is
make no
friction
mistake.
Unavoidable?
Unavoidable. If you have no friction, then you're making
Something
some
is wrong.
huge mistake. Huge mistake. Because
they don't want yes man also.
you can't have, no, like everything you say, हाँ sir, बढ़िया idea है, हाँ sir, बढ़िया idea है, then that's it, company डूबने वाली है. You have to have a little bit of pushback. You have to have vigorous debates. In our company,
So the startup founder shouldn't worry when you say this statement कि अरे VC मेरे जो बॉस है इन्वेस्टर है,
Last question.
first things first, मेरा बॉस नहीं है.
हाँ
First things
जो
first,
इन्वेस्टर है
the
उनसे वो
VC's
डरते रहते हैं
job-
हमेशा।
See,
But
वो
is
डरते
there a
रहते हैं because
certain-
that person, see, this is another thing, right? In India, we have that culture. That person has given me money, so I am answerable to that person. No, that person is now a part of your journey. Also, it's like what I said. No, it's a cultural thing. Typically, what is happening? This is an elder person who has a lot of experience in the industry. As a founder, I am a younger person. I've just started, so I have to give respect to what they say. What I hope people take away from this is the right mentality is the founder is the customer, and the person serving the founder is the investor. You are serving them. You are allowing them the ability and the opportunity to reach their full potential. If the VC is doing a good job, then that's what they should do. It's like what I said right at the start. You give them the capital they need, you give them advice where they need it, you get the hell out of the way. Let them do their job. Guide them when they're going wrong if need be. Provide the right support. If they want introduction to a particular client, make that introduction. If they want to help hire the right person, spend time with them, hire the right person. But beyond that, don't step on their toe. Otherwise, you build the company, you chalo the company, no?
But then, as you mentioned, out of 100, you invest in 2 companies. I mean, your team or everyone invests. So, the 98 people who, 98 founders, startup founders who couldn't get the funding, they get into desperate mode, and then they end up moving away from their actual focus because they need funds to run the company, to run the whole ecosystem, and which is why they would alienate from their actual direction. So isn't it fair to also say that it's because of the whole financial needs they had to deviate? I mean, they always were focused, but पैसा मजबूरी
I think
में
the
लेके आता
politics
है.
of play pivoting.
No, not necessarily pivoting. It's a great question, right? So what happens if a founder keeps hearing no from a VC, right? What should they think? Now you have to be unemotional, unsentimental. Okay. One of two things you have to realize. Number one, you have that deep insight that the VC cannot personally have or possibly have. You will hear 10,000 no's until that one yes changes your life, right?
Yeah.
That is one way of thinking about it. Very often at Biome, when we tell no to an entrepreneur, we are very clear to the entrepreneur, Baba, there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with your idea. We are not a fit. We don't know everything. We know some things. Maybe you'll do something amazing. It's just we are not the right partner at this time. So we want to be very clear that we don't want to discourage him. So that's one thing you have to be clear. The second thing is you have to be unsentimental, unemotional and rational. So I have to be rational. Okay, if 30 people are telling me that there is something wrong in my idea, I need to analyze one, what is wrong, two, why they are saying they are wrong. Now, if they are just saying they're wrong because they did some 15 minutes of Google search and then forget it. Then I would not take their opinion
Is there
seriously.
constructive feedback involved in the process?
Yes. So if you are getting good feedback, if a person who is learned in the space, who knows the space, is explaining to you that, Baba, this is the wrong customer to go after, then I would suggest you don't have to change the whole company. Do an experiment. What are startups in the early days? They're nothing but a series of experiments that get you to a business. You have to keep experimenting. You have a hypothesis. This product will be good. Experiment. Keep an open mind.
I want to bring up one ethical aspect to the VC process. Let's assume you're talking to a company A who's doing some business. You understand how they work, and somehow it does not work out. And then say company B approaches who's doing something very similar, but you are also influenced by your knowledge of company A, right? So do you see the challenge of knowledge or ideas making their way into company B, and how do you make sure ethically you're on the right side?
Great question. There are different approaches that you can take. At Anthill, what we decided was if I'm investing in company A, I will not invest in company A2. Means I will not invest in a directly competitive business. That is one approach you can take. The other approach that some VCs take is if I'm investing in a competitive space, I will create what is known as a ring fence. Meaning within the VC, partner 1 is responsible for company A, partner 2 is responsible for company B, and they are not allowed to talk to each other to influence one over the other. That is the theory. Practically, there is always going to be. Practically, there's always going to be osmosis. There's always going to be osmosis, right? The idea is to focus on expanding the pie rather than cutting the pie thinner and thinner.
But is this one of the complaints you hear from founders that, hey, my idea, someone else is
See,
doing?
I always tell founders, idea is worthless. You can have an amazing idea, but end of the day, somebody has to go ahead and do
Execute it.
Execution is what matters, right? Now, where it is egregious, where it is unethical is, let's for a minute forget idea. Let's say that they uncovered a piece of core intellectual property. Core, and that was transferred to another company. That is a lapse in ethics. That should not happen. I think mostly it doesn't happen also because the one thing that drives your business in venture is your reputation. And all it takes is for one or two founders to tell the market that this person has wronged me in an unethical fashion. Founders will not want to work with that individual again. So
there are checks and balances.
there are checks and balances on both sides. See, nowadays, we started at the start of this conversation with the ecosystem in India is getting more mature. Now founders are doing diligence back on the VCs. So now founders telling the VC, very good, I'll take your money, but first you make me talk to 3 founders where they failed. Let me see how they treated you. I encourage founders to do this. Diligence your investor. Ask them, can you introduce me to 2 of your founders? And can I speak to 1 founder where there was a failure?
That's only possible when founders have a flurry of offers, right? But someone who is probably desperate to get investments would not be asking that. And
Yeah, I think desperation is a point in time issue. I'm desperate right now. However, an investment is like a marriage. You are together for many years. You are partners. So it is better to have another 2-3 months of extreme uncertainty and difficulty than 10 years of being partnered with somebody that you later find out is the wrong fit for you.
But on the ground, do you see this kind of due diligence happening?
Yes. For the guys that are getting more and more mature, yes.
उम्मीद है ये वीडियो आपके लिए यूजफुल और इंटरेस्टिंग रहा होगा। इस वीडियो को लाइक करना ना भूलें और डफ स्टोरी को यूट्यूब और सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब भी जरूर कर दीजिए। पूरा पॉडकास्ट देखने के लिए लिंक मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन एरिया में दे दी है, वहां पर जाकर जरूर चेक करें। सो ये था एक काफी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो और मैं आपसे मिलता हूं हमारे अगले वीडियो में। तब तक के लिए गुड बाय।